India woke up to absolutely shocking and chilling news. The well known actor Saif Ali Khan, also the husband of Kareena Kapoor and the son of Sharmila Tagore, had been stabbed 6 times inside his own home in Mumbai. I'm Barkha Dutt. You're with the Mojo Story. The Mumbai police has been able to identify the man who did this to Saif Ali Khan. These images released by the police have been taken from CCTV footage that evidently captures the intruder who made his way into Saif Ali Khan's Mumbai home at about 2:30 in the morning. This is a screenshot from the staircase. Earlier, Mumbai police said that the intruder had possibly used the fire escape to make his way inside the house. Reports suggest that Mr. Khan, this is his building complex, directly confronted the man who intruded into his residence, entering evidently through the domestic helps room. When Saif Ali Khan heard her cries for help, he rushed and found himself in a confrontation with the intruder, who has been identified from CCTV footage, but it's important to say not arrested yet. Now, there are many questions that are mounting. First, Saif Ali Khan has been operated. There was a 2.5-inch piece of knife that was embedded very near his spine. The doctors described that to be a major surgery. Neurosurgeons and plastic surgeons both had to be involved in this operation. He is currently recovering at Mumbai's Lilavati Hospital. There are also media reports, we have not been able to confirm these independently, that Ibrahim, Saif Ali Khan's son, had to ferry Saif Ali Khan in an auto rickshaw to the hospital. In fact, a viral video seems to show Kareena Kapoor Khan at her residence next to the said auto that was used to ferry Saif Ali Khan. Of course, politics has also erupted. We are seeing the opposition target the Maharashtra government for law and order. The Maharashtra chief minister has spoken. Other chief ministers are speaking. Mamata Banerjee is speaking. Arvind Kejriwal is speaking. The BJP is saying the opposition is doing politics. Among the more bizarre statements has come from Sanjay Raut, who has also invoked the prime minister as he talks about law and order. This is a chilling development. If this is how vulnerable celebrities with all the resources available to them are, a lot of people are saying, what about common people? Let me introduce our guest today. We're glad that Saif Ali Khan is out of danger. I want to welcome to the program Anish Gwande. Anish is a spokesperson, a national spokesperson of the NCP, the Sharad Pawar group. Anish, it's good to see you. Raja Sen, one of the country's foremost film critics and writers, is with us. Welcome, Raja. Seeing you after a long time. Also joining us is Susieben Shah. She is, of course, a leader and spokesperson of the Shiv Sena Eknath Shinde group. Good to have you with us, Susieben. And also joining us is veteran police officer and former intelligence officer Yashovardhan Azad. The police's role is going to come under enormous scrutiny. There is going to be enormous scrutiny on the Mumbai police to catch the intruder, especially as he has now been identified basis CCTV footage. Again, according to the Mumbai police, we have to keep attributing because in a sort of fog of information in fast developing situations, sometimes initial reports do turn out to be wrong. So I have to just very carefully say this is what the Mumbai police is saying. Before I bring in the two politicians, I just want to bring in both the sense of what the industry is feeling and what the police might be looking at. I want to play out also what the doctor who performed the surgery has said. In fact, let's start with that. The doctor did say a piece of knife was embedded very close to the spine. In fact, in the spinal cord, it was a complicated surgery and a major injury. Take a look.
Mr. Saif Ali Khan was admitted in the morning at 2 a.m. at Lilavati Hospital with alleged history of assault by some unknown person. At 2 a.m. he sustained major injury to the thoracic spinal cord due to lodged knife in the spine. Surgery was performed to remove the knife and also repair the leaking spinal fluid. Two other deep wounds on his left hand and one on the neck was repaired by plastic surgery team. The entire surgery was monitored by Dr. Srinivas Kudwa as a cardiologist because of his other condition. He is completely stable now. He is recovering well and out of danger. Thank you.
Okay, so we know that there was a piece of knife taken out from his spinal cord. The injury was major. Neurosurgeons and the plastic surgery team at the Leelavati Hospital had to be deployed. Raja, I'm sure you've been working the phone lines to friends, to colleagues. This has to have had a chilling effect. It would be tempting to dismiss it as a routine burglary attempt. I don't know whether how else to sort of use the nomenclature, but the fact is that these are among some of the most wealthy, influential families of Mumbai. And this viral video seemed to show Kareena Kapoor Khan standing next to an auto rickshaw that media reports out of Mumbai are suggesting Ibrahim, Saif Ali Khan's son, had to deploy to get him to hospital. I don't know the exact reason for that, but I first want to just a sense of the somber mood, the sense of fear, vulnerability in Mumbai right now. What are you picking up? What do you want to say?
Barkha, right now, what I'm hearing, the amount of shock that's been emanating through the industry, it's unlike anything we've really seen before, at least not in my 20 years as a journalist. I haven't seen this sort of panic. We've seen it. We saw the Baba Siddiqui incident not too long ago. We've seen Salman Khan, I think just about a week ago, putting bulletproof glass on his windows. So I think the rich and famous, the influential are not feeling protected. I think there's a definite sense of chaos and a lack of control. When someone's home, which is the most protected, the most safe that you should be able to feel, when these homes, and we all live in these high-rise buildings which have all kinds of guards and paraphernalia and cameras and things like that, and when something like that is broken into, you question all your basics about safety. So I think the industry is really quite reeling, and they're wondering if this is some sort of something that is perhaps targeted. Is it a stray incident? We don't really know anything yet, but at this point, there is a lot of panic. I don't think people are feeling safe at all.
I think this question that you brought up, was this targeted, is a critical one, right? The police has described it as an attempted burglary. But a burglar typically does not stab somebody 6 times. A burglar tends to, when caught, run away, not stay back to get into a confrontation with the house that he has attempted to rob. Are you hearing murmurs about how this may have been, that there's not enough information? I don't want to be irresponsible here. I want to be very careful. But, is the industry under target? Like you said, there's, Salman Khan. There is what's happened with Saif. Politicians are sort of also adding somewhat fuel to fire. Mamata Banerjee today is also talking about threats to Shah Rukh Khan and Salman Khan alongside Saif Ali Khan. So are you picking up that sense that, look, there might be more to this than meets the eye?
I mean, I'm hearing a lot of conspiracy theories. Some names are being mentioned, but I feel like the real information that was coming out in the morning was the critical one, where we heard about the knife. We heard about him being in danger. We heard about 6 stabbings. So I think the medical information has been. I think we've all been monitoring that a lot more critically. Everything else will become clearer. I think the picture of the suspect should hopefully go a long way in helping the Mumbai police nab the alleged attacker. But yes, it is a time of complete. I don't think we should speculate right now. Really, like, I think speculation right now is a little too premature. But it is definitely time to take stock and to try and figure out how to perhaps beef up security, and how we can all try and. I mean, if the police recommend some steps for the citizens of Bombay and for everyone to try and do something about their own safety, to try and basically maybe work with the police, or maybe do some sort of neighborhood watch, or whatever it is it takes to try and make things a little bit safer, because I think everyone is very, very frightened.
Yes, and that would be the more responsible and adult conversation to have at this point. Before I bring in Yashovardhan Azad on the police, the Mumbai police, all eyes will be on that Mumbai police, because if there was one intruder, if this was a burglary, it cannot be so complicated to catch this guy. His images have now been identified by police officials. But how did the police explain how this happened to begin with? Take a look.
एक एक्यूज्ड आइडेंटिफाई हो चुका है, उसने स्टेयरकेस का यूज़ किया था, ये पता चला है। उस एक्यूज को अरेस्ट करने के लिए टीम्स फील्ड पर है।
सीसीटीवी में कौन
10 डिटेक्शन टीम्स हैं जो अलग अलग डायरेक्शंस में काम कर रही है। एक एक्यूज्ड है, वो एक्यूज्ड की मूवमेंट उस अपार्टमेंट में कल रात में ये इंसिडेंस के समय पे देखी गई है और उस दिशा में इन्वेस्टिगेशन चल रहा है। स्टेयरकेस
10 detection teams. The image of one intruder has been seen. You can see it on the screen now. Yashovardhan Azad, the fire escape evidently used to make an entry. What are the questions that hit you straight off? I mean, I agree with Raja. He and I should certainly not speculate, but you're a veteran police officer. I'm sure there's certain things that are standing out to you right away. And what are those?
As far as the investigation goes, I would definitely be absolutely free of any biases. So the first thing I would say is, yes, it's a targeted attempt, seemingly a targeted attempt, because
why do you say that? Because that's a big statement. Why do you say it's a targeted attempt?
Because, in that entire building, and he made an entry through the fire escape into that particular building. So obviously, this man knew where he was going. I mean, that is, I would surmise. And the other thing is, I would also check whether the entry was with the permission. Did he know the maid servant? That will be my also first point of inquiry. The other thing is that it's not true that
Can I respond to that? Can I respond to that? The report suggests that the domestic help actually suffered minor injuries herself, and therefore she actually came under attack. I know the initial report suggested that maybe they were looking at the angle as to whether the help knew the intruder, but now we know that she's actually filed a complaint of her own. She has sustained minor injuries. Those are images of her also appearing before the police. I want you to elaborate on this idea that it's a targeted attempt. When you say targeted, you mean that it's not that a burglar entered this apartment complex and randomly walked into an apartment. He very knowingly, according to you, Yasho, walked into Saif Ali Khan's apartment.
Yeah, because you see, Saif Ali owns 4, I think, floors. And his is on the 10th or something. So, a burglar, if he wants to escape, why should he go on the highest and take that risk of lift? So he would like to go to the first, second, third, fourth randomly and anywhere get something and get out as soon as possible. The other thing is that, a robbery, a robber or a burglar, when he goes in, he may not, just run away. There are violent robberies, and in burglary, there are even murders. So when you're trying to escape and you're put in a corner, and let me say that Saif did a very, very brave act. I mean, he did not shut himself inside the room, but he went to save the, the maid servant, just as in film hero, a life hero. So when he did that, and when he cornered that guy, so then he had no other option but to fight his way out. So I would say, number one, without speculating any further, that it looks like that he wanted to enter that for whatever reason. Maybe he thought the cash would be more. Maybe he thought, he'll get more money. And the other thing is that celebrities all over the world, Barkha, are vulnerable. Even in Los Angeles, where of course the fire is raging, all these big celebrities get these calls, extortion calls, all over the world, and therefore their security systems are really very, very well devised. Also, like police takes care of the the old people in their area. There's a kutumb kind of an app where they look at all the individuals. They also look at celebrities in their area, and I think, as Raja said very rightly, that there should be better coordination between the police and such celebrity homes in terms of which are the security applications they're using, which are the security contractors they are using, which are the regimes they are putting in place, because that's another point of inquiry which is going to be looked into. Because mostly, you see, Barkha, what happens is most of these places, ultimately it turns out one of the vendors, somebody who has visited your home, somebody, so that he knows. Otherwise, suddenly if a burglar comes, how will he know
Yeah.
that there is a fire escape on the 10th floor through the maids, and it's risky finding.
So you believe this is somebody who has studied the apartments, may have even visited them before, could be somebody known to the family in some sort of peripheral service contract way, and that it was targeted. I want to just before I go to Susieben, how difficult do you think it would be for the police to find this person who they allege is the key suspect from CCTV footage?
See, now it should not be, because we have got now tremendous technology. AI can ferret out a face from anywhere, and this guy with similar faces can be, traced out as to on other CCTV where this guy has been seen before. And 10 detection teams, it should be not very, very difficult to get this man.
Okay, so Susieben, let me bring you in at this point. We hear from Raja that the industry is vulnerable, scared, terrified. There are questions about whether there's more to this than meets the eye. Mr. Azad says it seems to, in his experience, to be targeted. Targeted doesn't mean that it's targeting Saif Ali Khan for a reason. It simply means it's somebody who studied, at this point, basis information and his experience. It's somebody who studied these 4 flats, who did not enter this building and randomly walk into any of the apartments. He was deliberate in his choice of which apartment to enter. And of course, politics has also erupted. The opposition is making all manners of allegations. The Chief Minister has spoken. I'll play out that clip in just a moment. What are your first thoughts, ma'am?
Yeah, good evening to all, and it's always as a pleasure to be on your show, Barkha. Thank you for having me on your show. Now, let me begin by saying that Mumbai police and Mumbaikar as a city, as a metropolitan city, is safe than the most of the cities of the world. Number one, we have one of the finest police forces. Now, you must understand, as Mr. Yashovardhan very rightly said, that all wealthy people, all rich people, and more so, the celebrities are at risk, and therefore they must act with caution. And you are absolutely right, Yashovardhanji. We have a Nirbhaya squad in Mumbai, which looks after the senior citizens, the women, the children of the area. And yes, going forward, we must also include our celebrities. But let us understand this: it's a private society. I mean, the police has to ensure that the public places more so are safe, because if the police starts looking into each and every private societies, it becomes extremely difficult and on the realms of impossibility. But the society also, when they have these painters or carpenters coming in, must do a police check, must have an Aadhaar card, must have a police verification. And more so when you are such a wealthy celebrated actor. We all are very happy, Mumbaikar, Maharashtra, and India at large, that Saif Ali Khan ji is recovering so fast. In fact, we are all breathing a sigh of relief. So for us, he is a valuable asset. It is irrespective whether it's an actor, but as long as
but with respect, sorry to interrupt you, ma'am, sorry to interrupt you. You seem to be suggesting, and I take your point that the police's priorities has to first be public spaces, but the job of the police is also to maintain law and order, to prevent crime. It isn't just to respond to crime after it happens, right? The point is that there will be, if this was targeted, there will be questions about intelligence. Targeted as in if Saif Ali Khan was targeted. If this was indeed a burglary and not an attempted, a worse crime like an attempted murder, then also you seem to be suggesting, please correct me if I'm wrong, that neighborhoods and private societies have to do more to protect themselves. The police can only do so much.
Also, they must also protect, of course, the police. It would be wrong for me to say that the police is not responsible for the safety and security for all its citizens. But the societies, the private housing societies, also should be mindful, should be watchful, and maybe have convergence with the police DCPs, whether it be crime branch. You see, the police at the moment, especially in Mumbai, are very, very friendly police. They call them police Didi or police Dada. That's the way it is. So there is a desk which is there for the senior citizens, and they are always open for a discussion to come and see your security measure. But then to expect that each and every society be guarded by the Mumbai police, I think, Barkha, we are stretching the police force a little too much. If it is a targeted attack or not, I think at the moment to suggest anything would be in the realm of speculation. We wish well, and the best person to, once he recovers, Saif Ali Khan would himself say exactly what happened. And yes, burglaries going wrong could be very, very violent. Very, very
Sure.
violent. Causing
I think you make the
Yes,
important
I am
point
from a
that
political party. Barkha, 1 second. I am from a political party. I think the politicians, and especially irresponsible politicians like Sanjay Raut, should not politicize the issue. I mean, I must remind them as to how they behaved, using all the police force, money power, muscle power, while treating Arnab Goswami or Kanaga Raut or Mr. Vaze. I mean, it is not it is in the recent past that all these things happen. So therefore,
since you mentioned
tarnish the
Sanjay
image of
Raut,
Mumbai police. Let them do
yeah.
their investigation. And
You
assure
see,
you that.
yeah.
So,
Sorry,
sorry.
I just, since you mentioned Sanjay Raut, before I come to Anish, let me play out what Sanjay Raut said. He even invoked the Prime Minister's name. Take a look. Do we have it?
लॉ एंड ऑर्डर की सिचुएशन क्या है, बीड़ से लेकर मुंबई तक, नागपुर से लेकर मुंबई तक, ये दिखाता है सईफ अली खान का हमला। कहाँ है लॉ एंड ऑर्डर, कहाँ है हमारी गृह मंत्री? उस बारे में बोलिए। अगर हम बोलेंगे तो हमके ऊपर बोलेंगे, उनको कुछ काम नहीं है। तो आपके पास काम है, अगर आप बिजी है बतौर गृह मंत्री, तो ये मुंबई और महाराष्ट्र में क्या हो रहा है?
Now, Anish, I can understand that the opposition's job is to raise questions about law and order. But to stretch it to a point where you start talking about, the Saif Ali Khan met the Prime Minister, which he did as part of the Kapoor family. I mean, this is where you kind of trivialize the conversation, don't you? I know I'm putting you in an uncomfortable position, asking you to criticize one of your political allies. But I mean, I've known you a while. I'm sure you would think better than to make those kind of comments.
Barkha, to begin with, it's very good to be on your show, and I'd hope that this would not be the first time that I came on your show. And
of course.
An issue like this.
First of many.
The first of many. Yeah. But to start off with, right, I think Sanjay Rautji has a way with his words, and we know that he often can say things that are sometimes blown out of proportion. But over here, it's important to remember that you've had a systematic conversation about the law and order crisis in Maharashtra for the last 3 weeks. Right from the incident in Parbhani, which led to the custodial death of Somnath Suryavanshi, which the Home Ministry has still not provided any answers for, to the death of a Sarpanch in Bid, Santosh Deshmukh, who was sort of killed in the most brutal manner, and whose alleged killer, is going around parading in Bid as a savior. There's been a law and order crisis that the opposition has been raising its voice about in Maharashtra for 3 weeks now. You'll remember that what happened with Baba Siddiqui also raised significant questions about law and order in Mumbai, in Bandra, exactly where this incident happened, and about ways in which that the police has not been able to provide answers as to the perpetrators of this violence, right? And we've made a consistent and constant claim that the Mumbai police is one of the finest policing forces in this country. Unfortunately, because of police pressure and because of the various ways in which this force has been undermined, you're seeing a complete lack of accountability. Today, if you ask me, am I going to politicize this issue? Of course I'm going to politicize this issue. That this can happen in Bandra and can be dismissed, like you said, as, a burglary gone wrong, which has happened over the last 5 years, Barkha, is shameful. The fact that today in Mumbai, we're getting used to crimes like these and saying, it was just a burglary gone wrong, is shameful. The fact that today in Mumbai, a city that was known for being safe, we're now asking our politicians and our sort of film stars to get Z+ security of their own private accord of sorts is shameful. This was a city where you could roam around freely, whether you were Mukesh Ambani or Dhirubhai Ambani or Shah Rukh Khan or Saif Ali Khan. I don't think that we can take this for granted, and I don't think we should take this lying down at all.
And who are you holding responsible for the fact that this has happened? Because crimes happen in every city, right?
No, but again, the fact that I don't have an answer about what happened to Baba Siddiqui today is the problem. The fact that I don't have an answer today about what happened to Somnath Suryavanshi is the problem. The fact that I don't have an answer today about what happened to Santosh Deshmukh is the problem. My problem will happen in 2 weeks when I'm on your channel again and we still don't have any answer as to what the hell happened. The problem is not that these crimes happen. The problem is there's no accountability.
What happens after that?
There's no response.
Okay. Now, on our screen right now, we are seeing video. We had stills earlier. We now have a proper video of the CCTV. There is a kind of impunity. There is a kind of impunity here that I do want to discuss with Mr. Azad. This guy is sort of some solo character. He doesn't seem particularly afraid. I do not know whether this is the entry or the exit at which point he has been captured. Is this when he was running away? He doesn't seem to be running. Is this when he's making his way and planning his burglary? Those are some of the unanswered questions. Before we come back to that, and yes, I know, Susie, when you want to respond to Anish Gwande, I do also want to play out what the Maharashtra Chief Minister said, and we'll come right back.
कि इसके बारे में पुलिस ने आपको सारी जानकारी दी हुई है, ये किस प्रकार का हमला है, इसके पीछे क्या है, किस प्रकार की मंशा से ये हुआ, ये सारी चीजें आपके सामने आ चुकी हैं।
Okay, so basically he says it's not fair to call Mumbai an unsafe city. What's happened is wrong. Susieben, I think the Baba Siddiqui incident, once again, a politician, but one seemed to be very close to the movie industry. His iftar parties were always star-studded affairs. It happened once again in Bandra, which is where all of these movie stars, most of them, not all, many of them do live. Bandra, once considered a sort of cute seaside, chic, posh, safe corner of Mumbai, today becoming literally this is a kind of case study for high profile crime. How do you respond?
Barkha, to what Anish said, I would again repeat and reiterate that Mumbai is one of the safest city. Now, under Mumbai, or the way our jurisprudence works, the way our the legal system works, there is a subject matter of investigation. When a matter is investigated, you must not forget that the 9/11 perpetrator also got 1 year he was tried. There is a system. We are not a banana republic. There is a method in which we file our charge sheet. There is a method how we investigate. There is a method how we investigate our gather witness, gather evidence. There you should be given time to investigate. Until then, it is everything speculation. You can't have presto justice. You will appreciate, Barkha, sitting on Mojo. We cannot decide whether what happened to Suryavanshi ji. Extremely unfortunate. Santosh Deshmukh, time and again, on the floor of the house, the Chief Minister has said justice will be done. SIT is formed. Give it time. Why are you whipping up frenzy? What are you trying to achieve? I just don't understand why the opposition, and Anish, you are an educated man, know how the legal system works. Give it time. Let us investigate. Have the best people on the job. The best Supreme Court judge has been appointed. Why are you missing? Why are you just jumping the gun? Let it go through. Justice will prevail. Justice will be done.
Before I come back to Raja and Yasho, Anish, I'm going to allow you just a very brief interjection, and we do need to move on. There are other dimensions of this case to discuss beyond the party politics. Anish? Anish, you muted yourself at your end. You need to unmute yourself. Go ahead. Yeah.
Give me 1 second. Sorry, I want to just take this opportunity to say that I agree that there needs to be sort of systematic law and order, right? There needs to be a method in which we try people. But where was this method in Maharashtra when the Badlapur incident happened? When the person who was accused in the Badlapur case was arrested and then killed in an encounter, and the Chief Minister put up photos with a pistol in one hand and the AK-47 in another, the current Chief Minister, then Deputy Chief Minister and Home Minister, saying Badlapura, law and order has been made into a mockery in Maharashtra. And to say that due process should be followed when incompetence is highlighted is unfortunate at best.
Okay, I'm going to request both the politicians just hold their fire. I do want to talk about other things. Raja, I want to come to this sense of vulnerability in the industry. Vulnerability comes in many forms. Baba Siddiqui also, as I mentioned, the NCP politician, just shot dead was seen to be linked to the film industry. More recently, there have been concerns expressed by Salman Khan. Now you see what's happened with Saif Ali Khan. Then there is this sort of larger political environment where political parties are wanting to own one or the other movie star. I know so many film star friends who feel suffocated and vulnerable in terms of how much they should say, who they should be seen with, will so-and-so stop talking to us if we are photographed with so-and-so? And all of these becomes points of discussion, so much so that even a meeting between the larger Kapoor clan and the Prime Minister became a point of political debate, which I think is very unfortunate. How do you pick up what's not said? That sense of vulnerability, that sense of, are we soft targets? Can we unmute Raja, please? Yeah, go ahead, Raja. Yeah.
Hi. I think just coming back to the fact that, when you look at the elite really in this country, you look at the rich and the powerful and the famous, you assume that they are out of touch, that they are, completely safe from this sort of situation. And the fact that they are being targeted, the fact that we are seeing this sort of almost like being in the public eye makes them more vulnerable. We're beginning to see that sort of a shift. We saw it not very long ago. We saw a couple of comedians who had been kidnapped and extorted for money. And so we are seeing that people who are famous are being targeted, whether it's paparazzi targeting, whether it's any sort of violent targeting. I think there's a level of, it's almost as if you need to stay off the radar entirely. And I think that's the fear within the industry, at least from people I've spoken to. I'm not going to take names right now, but people I've spoken to are seeming like, it's best, like someone I spoke to today said that it's best we don't have a release, or it's best we're not made any headlines in the last few months, because that's probably the better way to go about our business. And that's a very frightening thought, that this business which is about celebrity, or which is about the public eye, is about now people avoiding the public eye.
And Yashovardhan, that vulnerability comes particularly when you have young children, which in this case, Saif Ali Khan and Kareena Kapoor have two young boys at home, and one of them was viciously trolled just for being named who he is, Taimur. At that point, I've done interviews and conversations with Kareena where she's actually elucidated on what that felt like. And these children were at home when this happened, right? And I want you to pick up on Raja's point, that sense of being in the public eye now, beginning to feel unsafe, being in the public eye in any way, expressing an opinion, meeting somebody, seem to be too close to somebody, bhai duri raho. That seems to have, from everything, that seems to have become sentiment. One, that, and two, the kind of seeming impunity. I mean, I'm really struck by the CCTV footage. I, of course, don't know if this is the guy who did this, but if we can bring up that footage again, he's just kind of casually strolling. Now, we need to know at what point this image has been picked up. But I was just wondering if you had any thoughts, Yashovardhan.
Yes, the first point which came to my mind was that he wasn't as if a straggler who just walked in and he was looking around here and there. He was walking with sure steps, which means that he knew exactly where he was going. That's why I said that looks like targeting. And he went to that particular place with no other value judgment except from the point of investigation. That's number one. The number 2 point, which Barkha, I have been, trying to, project for a long time. There's a difference between Shah Rukh and Saif on one side and Baba Siddiqui and Salman on the other side. I mean, I have no respect for Salman. The way he twisted the law, the legal system after the accident, that constable who committed a suicide after hunting for that deer and making a mockery of the entire judicial system for the last 25 years. So if the Bishnoi gang is targeting him, it's because of his own doing. And
that said, it's just important to say that irrespective of whether you believe has respected the law or not, the answer cannot be vigilante violence. Whatever your opinion may be of Salman Khan.
It's not vigilante. What I'm saying is that if you've done something, you are going to be under the targeting eye of a particular group. That is what I'm saying. That is irrespective of any kind. Of course, he should get protection and all that. But that kind of targeted attack, Barkha, cannot be prevented anywhere in the world. For example, Baba Siddiqui case. Yes, That is one case where I agree with Anish when he said that it has a law and order implication, not this one. But a man, he has a past, right? There were a lot of, real estate deals, other deals, there were other complainants, there were also his, adulation. But for certain reason, if certain people are being targeted, that is different from personalities like Shah Rukh or Saif Ali Khan. And that's why there was an outpouring of sentiment.
So what you're saying is, if you have been involved in, you're saying if you have yourself, okay, you say.
You remember there was an outpouring of sentiment, and even on your show, when I talked in favor of that son, Aryan, whatever his name is, when he was targeted.
Shah Rukh's son, Aryan, yes.
When he was, but this is unlike such cases which become typically police cases. So some have implications of law and order, I agree, and some are pure crimes. But people somehow, in some cases, attract, and become a target.
This is an interesting point in the sense that, Anish, what Mr. Azad seems to be saying is that some people who are high profile are themselves involved in murky dealings, and the murky lives that they have led come back in a way to bite them, and those are not crime cases in the routine sense. That said, I do disagree with Mr. Azad, irrespective of what Baba Siddiqui may or may not have been, to be shot in the way that he was killed on the streets of Bandra speaks to an absence of, it speaks to an absence of crime prevention at the very least, Mr. Azad. I don't know. I'm not saying it happens only in Mumbai. I'm just using it as an example. Anish, quickly, starting in last minutes.
Honestly, this is why, Barkha, to start off with, I said that what defines law and order failure here is accountability. I'm not going to take pot shots and say that the fact that this happened is disastrous and that this means that Mumbai is unsafe. Can burglaries happen in any city? Of course they can. Should we be worried that burglaries are on the rise in Bandra as a whole? That is something that we need to discuss. Should we discuss why Mumbai tops the crime list today? Yes, we should. Should we discuss why we're number 3 in murders and number 4 in rapes? Yes, we should. Should we discuss why Maharashtra is number 1 in rioting? Yes, we should. We should discuss why this is a larger law and order crisis. But I also want to say one final thing, right? After this incident, what was the response of the entire right-wing online ecosystem? You've seen those videos, and I have too, of how women of the family partying the night before were used as evidence of this not being a law and order failure. This was used to shame them, to say that these are the kinds of people who things happen to. And
all that video shows is help the police put a timestamp on when this crime occurred. That's the only relevance of that video as a journalist to me.
But the fact that family members have been targeted and viciously, all of them, the fact that someone like a Saif Ali Khan had to be taken to a hospital in Bandra in an auto instead of an ambulance, the fact that today, whenever questions are asked to the government, of sort of reverse lens is being placed on people to say that private societies need to have security guards and private security. That's the problem. There's no accountability, and there is a refusal to admit that something went wrong.
Okay, before I take last comments to that from Yasho and Raja, opposition's leaders are wading into this. Yes, Anish has the right to raise valid questions, but are they ratcheting it up a notch or two more than they should be? This is what Mamta Banerjee said just moments ago.
सैफ अली खान के बारे में आप देख लीजिए, हमारा फेसबुक में ट्वीट में हम सुबह में जो बोलना है मैंने बोल दिया. इट्स अ वेरी मैटर ऑफ शॉकिंग. जो कल्पिट्स है उसको अरेस्ट करना इमीडिएट एंड टू टेक स्ट्रॉन्ग एक्शन अगेंस्ट द कल्पिट्स. कि देखिए शर्मिला दी तो टिगर फैमिली का है. शर्मिला ठाकुर को हम लोग कितना इज्जत करते हैं, इवन हिज होल फैमिली. हम चाहते हैं कि इसको इंसाफ मिले. Even Sauruk's life is also, sometimes they are being threatened. Salman also. Saif Ali, he was not in that list, but happened this. Unfortunate. I do not know whether any plan is there or not, or it is planted. Let the government take strong action.
Now, Mamta Banerjee, Yasho, wading in and saying even Shah Rukh Khan and Salman Khan's life is in danger. That's basically what she said. Is this ratcheting this up to a kind of irresponsible level? I mean, we need to be I have hesitated myself so many times in this program in moving forward too much with the conspiracy theory. I understand the reasons for it. I understand the temptation to do it. But should chief ministers be making these comments at this point? I don't know. On the other hand, there is a clear vulnerability. There has been a history of trolling. There has been Baba Siddiqui shot in cold blood in Bandra. His closeness to these stars is also well established. So it's confusing. How should we handle the public conversation around this?
Well, let me say that for any incident in India which takes place of any kind, the first to jump in are the politicians, because they seem to be knowing all. I do wish all of them speak in the language of Anish, very, very spoke tremendous sense, larger sense of burglaries in Bandra, not individual. This is the way politicians should talk. But then that is why Anish is here on your show, and they are manning positions as MP, MLAs. He'll never be nominated as an MP. I know that. And so because he doesn't have a caste.
Let's hope. Let's wish better for Anish. Yes.
Yeah. So the opposition is jumping in for no reason. If you talk sense, it will help so much. It will help the country understand things by talking on real issues. What should be Mumbai? Should we gear up the police with more? Should Bandra deserve a more kind of a different kind of a look under the police eye or the government eye, instead of talking rubbish? So, and not even from even the government side also, there is hardly any talk except trying to say that we are doing the best and we are, nothing can be done. Everything has been already done. So, if the government would be a little more sensitive, said, yes, we are taking this case seriously. And we've also heard the oppositions, somebody like Anish, when he talks, yes, in a larger sense, we have to be a little more careful. Things will be all right. But otherwise, it is ratcheting up for no reason.
Raja, last thoughts to you. I mean, I think that sense of, what you described earlier is keeping a lower profile. How do you do that as a celebrity? How do you keep a low profile as a job that is essentially public?
Right. Barkha, just before that, I would like to just speak about what the panelists have just said before me. I think we are saying that they might be that, we see political opportunism at every level. It happens all the time. People take advantage and they take pot shots. Yeah. But the fact of the matter is that when something happens to famous and influential people pay attention. So it is important to use this as an opportunity to take a closer look at the statistics, the frightening statistics about Mumbai that Anish mentioned. I think it is an opportunity for us all to introspect about the security and safety of this country. And it's just like that. It's like we have fires all the time. We have wars raging in the world. But right now in the West, the headlines are dominated by the LA wildfires because the movie stars' houses are burning down. So I think it's going to force them to take a closer look at that. So similarly, when something happens to a Salman or a Baba Siddiqui or a Saif, then it hopefully will go some way in making Bandra safer. So I don't blame the politicians for rabble rousing at this point, because there is a sense, I think, overall in India right now that there is no real accountability. When something unsafe happens or something frightening happens, you don't really see MPs or MLAs losing their jobs. You don't really see anyone doing anything. Things don't change. So it is important to try and talk about it as loudly and as unsubtly as possible. And sometimes if that means exaggerating the point, maybe that's what we should be doing.
Yeah, fair point. Before we close, Mr. Azad, there's just a developing update. Officials in the police now saying that when Saif Ali Khan's attacker entered the house, he demanded 1 crore. He demanded 1 crore rupees. This is a new detail that is now emerging, which would further your theory that this was targeted. This was not a random burglary in a rich apartment complex. If you just want to comment on this.
Well, I'm glad that, the one point of investigation is becoming clear that this guy knew exactly where he was going. So now, beyond this, there are a lot of things, leads which will come. How did he get access? Who did he use? Who were his accomplices? And then we'll be able to see whether he's a part of a gang, whether he's a part of a pre-planned conspiracy of a particular group, where did the plot emerge from. So I think it's a very healthy information which has come for the police.
Right, and these are chilling details. The fact is, as I said, that we should remember that there were 2 small children at home. There are some reports that suggest that the younger boy was in fact exposed to this, and that it wasn't the help alone. The help and the younger boy Jay were exposed. Reports now suggesting that the intruder demanded a crore. And this has clearly led to some sort of scuffle and confrontation in which this man has then knifed 6 times Saif Ali Khan. And this is the CCTV footage, which shows the man that the police believe is the one responsible for stabbing Saif Ali Khan. A chilling effect, irrespective of who you are today. This incident has a chilling effect because really, as Mr. Azad pointed out, Saif Ali Khan has no known history or record of being involved with somebody who may want to hurt him. And so take a look at that image closely. We'll have much more on this developing story. In the meantime, I would just want to say thank you to our panel, to Yashovardhan, to Raja Sen, to Anish Gwande, and earlier to Susieben Shah, who had to leave a little early. Thank you to our audience, and see you soon.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.